So this is part 2 on all the Kindle books that I got for 99p in May. The first one that I picked up was Until You by Penelope Douglas, and this is actually the second book in the series. However, I just read the blurb and thought this is right up my street. I think it follows sort of a toxic relationship where it's like very heavily focused on the male's perspective in this book, but I do need to read the first one, which is called Bully, and I think it's like a little, he's got anger issues sort of thing, so I thought, oh, that sounds interesting, let me get that. I then got Love and Romeo. This was actually free on Prime Reading. I always check out their books because I think it's so good how like Prime includes like a selection of books, and this one was in it. So I didn't actually buy this one, I just added it to my library. But it follows a boxer who despises this girl, and basically they move next door to each other. It's a classic enemies to lovers. I'm so excited. He has this desire to have her, but he knows he shouldn't. All over Book Talk, so I'm definitely excited to check it out. Next one I picked up was a thriller. This is called The Perfect Marriage, and it follows this barrister and her husband, and her husband basically has this affair with a mistress and ends up apparently stabbing her and killing her. So the wife, the dutiful wife that she is, actually defends this guy in court and becomes his barrister. So that's quite an interesting story, so I thought I'd pick that one up and see how it unfolds because I'm so excited. It just sounds like there's going to be so many plot twists. Next one I picked up was Darkingly Dreaming Dexter. The TV show is based off this book, and I absolutely love the TV show, so I thought let me just give the first book a try, and if I prefer the TV show to the book then I will not read the rest in the series because it is quite a big series. If you haven't checked it out, it's basically Dexter is this blood splatter analyst who works for the Miami police, I think, and he is also a serial killer. So instead of killing just anyone, he actually kills bad people, which I think is fair. Well, that's just my opinion. But it's so good. This TV series is amazing, and I didn't even know it was a book until recently, so I'm definitely gonna check this book out. The next one I picked up was actually a non-fiction book. This is called Unmasking Lucy Letby, and it follows the nurse who killed 7 babies. It was like the longest trial in history. I don't know if it's in history in the UK or where in the world, but she basically was a nurse and she ended up killing 7 babies, and she's only like in her 30s. So like people, I think there's a lot of interviews in here, there's a psychologist analysis. I'm excited for that one. The next one I picked up was Friend Request, another thriller. I feel like most of this haul is just a thriller haul, and it follows 2 childhood friends, and basically one of them passes away, and a couple of years later the friend who's still alive, she gets a friend request off her friend and she's like, ain't you dead? I think she's trying to discover the truth and see if she actually is dead or if she isn't, and I just thought, oh, it's so good like to include the technology concept to it, so that's why I picked that one up. Next one I picked up was Wrong Place Wrong Time, and this follows Jen, who it's the night of Halloween and waiting for her son to come home. She's looking out the window and she sees her son stab someone. A single mom, and she's raising her son, and it's gonna cause a bit of havoc for her, but then she goes to sleep and she wakes up the next day and she's actually the day before Halloween, so she wakes up on October 30th and she's like, oh my god, it's not happened yet, maybe I can prevent it. But every time it keeps happening, so every day she's waking up further into the past and she's trying to prevent this from happening. So she's going through all her deeds, what she's done right, what she's done wrong, and she's trying to fix it. And I thought that was quite an interesting story because you only really see that in films, well I only have, so I'm so excited to read that one. The next one that I picked up was Dark Places, and this follows a 7-year-old girl, and she testifies against her brother who's 15, who is apparently a murderer. And later on in life she gets approached by this group of I don't know what to describe them as, but they basically believe that her brother's innocent, and then she starts questioning things. She's like, did I actually get maybe like coerced into saying that he's guilty when he's not? And bearing in mind she was only 7, so she starts questioning things about her life, and I thought that was such a good thriller to add, so I bought that one as well. The last book I got is called The Secret Barrister, and this is again another non-fiction book. I can't believe I got 2 non-fiction books in this haul, and it is a collection of different stories and different perspectives on how he has to be a barrister for like a paedophile, or a barrister for, you know, things that he doesn't actually agree with, but he has to represent them in court. And I thought this was such an interesting story. I hope it's just amazing as it sounds, like just to look into the lives of these people who have to do things that they don't necessarily agree with. That was all of the books, all the 17 books I got in my Kindle 99p haul for May. If you haven't checked out part 1, make sure you check out part 1. So excited for 99p books in June. I definitely need to do a book haul as well though, because there's so many physical books that I want, and every time I go to the works they're never there, so I need to order them online. Thank you so much for watching, and come back to see some more book hauls.